what I felt like at the time was the biggest failure ever, or like the worst thing to happen was the best thing to happen to me because of all the other things that have happened. Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. It's Canisha. If you're new around here, my name is Canisha and I create video content on career, lifestyle and just about everything in between. So if you like the sound of that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Now in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what felt like at the time was my biggest failure in life and sort of talk about the lessons that I learned from it, just because I figured I really needed someone a few years ahead of me who was going through something I was going through to talk about that and sort of show that there was light at the end of the tunnel. So this video is for someone who is either going through what I went through at 18 with results day, or just anyone kind of feeling like they're going through their biggest failure or biggest closing of the door. Now let's rewind back to 2016, and I'm talking about the 2016 that was like the best summer of just about everybody's life. I don't know what was in the year, but most people that I speak to, they say that 2016 had something extra spicy about it. I was ready to enjoy my summer, ready to live my best life. I was going to go to uni in that September, and around that time, so this is August, I had just come back from being on holiday to Zimbabwe. I was going to a festival. I was then going to go on a girls' holiday with my friends. Like, summer was lined up very, very sweetly. And in the midst of all that excitement was my exam results for my A-levels. Now I was like, do you know what? It is what it is. Results day is gonna come. I'm hoping that I get into my first and second choice. And I was so confident that I was going to get into my first choice that I didn't think about plan B. So most people advise that if you're going through your A-levels and you're waiting to find out if you got into university, to sort of think of a plan B. So look at potential universities that have lower grade requirements that you could go to if you went through a clearing process. So me being me, I was like, no, it's decided, you know, I'm gonna go to Liverpool. That was my first choice uni. So there's no point in me trying to prepare for a scenario that's not gonna happen. So all summer, I was just enjoying life. I wasn't looking at any other university. I just knew come September, I'm going to Liverpool. There's nowhere else to look. So 18th of August rolls around the corner. I remember like the day before, I literally couldn't sleep, and I was like, okay, do you know what, this is probably like a lack of sleep just because I'm nervous, I don't know what to expect, but it'll be fine. Talking on the group chat with my friends, we're all, you know, nervous, but we're sort of just ready to accept whatever happens, happens. So I wake up that morning, and weirdly enough, someone in the group chat had said UCAS had updated results. So that UCAS is a platform in the UK that you use to apply to university. It lets you know about your application process, what universities accepted you, or what offers you have. And someone had said that on UCAS you could see what your results were. So it's like literally 8 in the morning, and I was picking up my results around 9 AM. So like everybody else, I got excited and I was like, let me check out what my results say, and celebrations will happen straight after. I pull up UCAS, I log in, and lo and behold, I have a notification, or at least it says on the landing page, that unfortunately you have not made it into your first choice university, which was Liverpool. My heart dropped and I was devastated. I looked at my second choice and same story. I did not make it into my second choice university, which was Sussex. And I literally could not stop crying. I was devastated. All I knew then was that I didn't make it into these universities, but I also did not know what the results were in terms of grade-wise. So I still had to go to my sixth form to pick up my results and get them. I'm crying all the way to sixth form. I walk in, I don't want to speak to anybody. I open my results, I start crying again. I'm devastated. My head of year invites me to his office to talk about my results, and I just couldn't hear anything. All I knew was that I wasn't going to make it to my first or second choice university, and life was done. Life was over. Like, I'd worked hard for 2 years to get to this point where I didn't even make it into my second choice uni. Like, that's meant to be the one that, you know, the first one doesn't work out, so you go to your second choice. But that didn't work out either. So I remember my head of year was telling me like, I'm so sorry about your results, and I'm sure this is not what you wanted to hear, but go home, open up your laptop and just start looking for other universities to see what's out there for you. And I was like, okay, I'll go and do that. And looking again at my results, like when I say it now, I'm like, Canisha, you should have been so proud of yourself. Like, I got BBC, and what I needed to get into my first choice and second choice was ABB, and the other one quite something similar grade-wise. So it wasn't even lower than my first choice. It was like the same or just slightly higher. So I clearly did not get into that second one. I get home, my dad was like, I'm gonna help you look for places. So he called in work, said I can't come in, explained my situation, and so he stayed behind to look for universities with me. From about 10 in the morning to 4 p.m, we were just calling universities, literally left, right and centre, just calling up places to find out if they had business and management positions, and just calling. I was getting phone calls from friends and family saying, how did I do? I was airing those because I was like, I just do not have the capacity to talk to you right now because I'm devastated. I've got results that I feel like I worked so hard and I just did not do well enough, and I just felt like such a failure because I didn't get into my first or my second choice university. So I couldn't even look at the grades that I got, even though in my eyes they were really good now. So we kept calling around all the universities to see if anybody had places, and by about 2 p.m. I'd received about 3 offers from different universities. So this were places like Bradford, Portsmouth, Swansea, those 3, and then I got 2 others by 4 p.m. And so I had options. I was now kind of like, okay, you know what, I am going to go to university, but I'm just not going to go to university I want to go to. And then my second choice university, Sussex, offered me a place. However, I would have to do a foundation year on top of the 4 years of what the course would be. So I was like, I can't do that. That's 5 years of university. I honestly think that same day that I got all 5 of those offers, I made a decision, and that decision was Swansea. If you've watched my placement video, which I'll link above here, I think I touched briefly on like what Swansea meant for me in terms of like opportunities and what I went on to do with my life. But at the time, I didn't know what it meant to now go to university that I've never been to, whether that was for the open days. I've never been to Swansea. I've literally been to Wales one time, which was on a holiday. Like, I was going to a place I had no idea about whether the course was good, whether the university was good, if I would like it, or just any of the key facts you have as part of making a decision. So I remember before the end of that day, I accepted Swansea because it just looked better out of all the options that I had in front of me. And I went on a night out with my friends. It was an A-level results day, clubbing, night out. Even then I was crying. Like, I was devastated. I didn't want anyone to ask me about what I'd gotten. I didn't want anyone to ask me about where I'm going. I just felt so embarrassed and like shameful and just like feeling like a failure. And that's how I felt, the whole night and the few days after it. 18-year-old me felt like I was experiencing the biggest failure ever, and it was irredeemable. There was nothing that could change it. But this is where I wish someone had spoken to me, having been like 4 or 5 years ahead of like gone through the experience, what they told me. And I think it was that reassurance that I really was missing, that living was not the end of the world. And looking back at it now, I couldn't imagine myself having gone to my first choice uni of Liverpool, and to think I would have had the same experiences, the same opportunities had I gone there. And also, the key thing as well, I never would have met the people that are in my life now. Like, i.e. my boyfriend, I met him at university. I never would have met any of my friends. I never would have met him. I never would have met so many people that have been fundamental to my growth as a person, fundamental to the experiences that I had at university, and the fun and the memories. Like, so many things have happened as a blessing from that door closing that I couldn't have wished for things to be different. And I think it's even harder now in terms of having social media, where you're constantly being bombarded by people's good news messages that people got A stars, people got A's, people got all B's, like whatever those grades are that are not what you have. It's so easy to feel like what you've done is a poor performance, but it actually is not. And I think now even more so, like, I did my A-levels without a pandemic. I did my A-levels without my school year being interrupted. Like, there's so many other circumstances that people who received results this year, whether it's GCSEs or your A-levels, you had as roadblocks that I never had as an experience. So I think even now you should still want to celebrate whatever you've gotten as a result, because it's really good in the midst of the circumstances that you faced. And whatever you choose to do next, whether it's to go through clearing and then pick a university and then just like, you know, go, or you explore other options, it actually ends up not being a failure, because you're opening the door to something that you did not plan for, but you also could have like the best experience out of it, or it's actually just a stepping stone to whatever it is that you want to do next afterwards. I think, you know, the peace and comfort of knowing that you need to give yourself time to process whatever you're feeling right now, whether it's disappointment, whether it's failure, whether it's shame, like process those emotions, but also go into whatever you're going to go into with an open mind to surprising you. I think looking back now, what I felt like at the time was the biggest failure ever, or like the worst thing to happen, was the best thing to happen to me, because of all the other things that have happened leading from that, saying yes to Swansea, or saying yes to that new door that I did not plan for. I told you about summer 2016. I was enjoying life. I was living the best version of myself, and I hope my words can resonate, whether it is actually that you go through your GCSEs or your A-levels, or just actually another event in your life or milestone in your life that has not gone the way you wanted it to go, and it feels like a failure, and it feels shameful, and it feels embarrassing, or it feels like you've let yourself down. Give yourself time to process those emotions, but know that this could actually be an opening to something completely unexpected, but the best thing for you. And I just wanted to share that in case it might help you. Thank you so much for watching my video. Comment below just anything you've learned from perhaps an experience of failure, or things not going to a plan that you've put in place. What did you get out of it? What did you learn from it? In case somebody else reading it might resonate and take something from it. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.